Help!
Help! Hey, everyone. Oh.
Hello. Welcome to Wicked Game. You know, we're back after a break, and we are.
Two of us are back.
I'm here.
Two of us are back.
You guys ramble. I'm just gonna fix this.
It's so fun.
I've been trying to fix things, guys. I'm sorry.
We respect and adore you.
Thank you.
Yeah, some of us are here. I mean, I'm Lydia. Wait, I can't remember who sits where. I think.
Wait, I can't remember who
That's
I am.
Tom. The one that you might not be able to see is Michelle, and the person who just fled for the other side of the world is Nikki. But we're Wicked Game. We play D&D. We, amongst other games. But tonight we are continuing back at our campaign called the Divisia Sensus.
Tonight, Matthew.
Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be 100 people with bad accents into the glitter curtain. First of all, on the announcements, though, mods, Joshy Longlegs, Atomic Flash. God, now I really don't know what's what. Sweet Poison, Rooney Runes. You know, you can find them herding cats in the chat. And we thank you for everything you do here and in Discord. Thank you so very much. Dice and a Slice. You know, Wicked Slice, our collab with them, that is now all up, beautifully edited. Oh, God. I've had a caipirinha, guys. We're away.
And some of it was furry.
It's a thing of beauty, and now it's all the podcasts are up wherever you get including the Andromeda Adventures, which never before heard. I mean, it's now been heard for quite a lot because it's been out for a little bit, but before that, anyway, that is all up on wherever you get your podcasts. You just have to search for Dice and a Slice.
And season 2 is about to start. Just check it out.
Let's check it out.
It's going to be real good.
Mug face, check it out. Some other heroes are going strong. They're back. It's every Sunday, every other Tuesday, if I remember rightly. And they're just always a delight. They do great stuff. So check out their Twitch channel, Some Other Heroes. We love you guys.
We love them so much.
Circling back to Wicked Game, what we've got going on. We're going to be doing Dragon Age tomorrow. I mean, hopefully. So tomorrow, possibly 2 till 5. Michelle and I will be. I mean, I preemptively feel the insane anger of the egg already. But we went back into all of that and, having some nice chats and drinking coffee and playing Dragon Age Inquisition.
It's going to be great. We're going to love it. You're going to love it. Egg's going to hate it. And that's okay because he's Egg.
Egg. I assume you guys can hear me. You just can't see me, correct?
Yeah, well, I don't know why I'm saying yes because I can definitely hear you because you're in the Zoom call with me.
Okay.
But I just wanted to say, whilst we're here, folks, it is such a shame that you can't see Michelle today because I'm a hype that dude. He's looking so good today. So you have so much to look forward to.
Okay, right. Everyone bear with me a second because Nikki's left me for the other side of the country. He's not left me. We're still together.
This is why the manic energy.
To announce it.
It's announcements.
He just packed up his shit in the middle of the night and just went.
Yeah, so
and unplugged everything.
Went for a quest to find his testicles.
And unfortunately, I had everything set up. I just had to worry about getting the guys' cameras working, and they did. And then we went live, and I went to this scene, and the camera's just not working. The Logitech camera. So.
And that's okay.
It's fine. You can just hear me, right?
I sure do hope they can hear you. Otherwise, Tom and I have just been sitting silently for quite a long time.
Yep. Oh God, can you imagine that being?
Can you imagine? It's so awkward. Anyway,
I am very close to my mic, which is maybe why.
I tell you what, we've still got stuff to chat about here.
You chat and I'll try and
I
fix.
tell you what,
Yeah.
the next thing I was going to talk about, which is ridiculous. It's like we have been dropping like this new stuff on our social media and in Discord, but in case you haven't seen it, our charity week is going to be the end of next month, and we're raising money for CALM, which stands for Campaign Against Living Miserably. And oh boy, we're pretty excited about some of the fun stuff that we have in store. Lots of D&D, lots of games, some horror, some romance, lots of guests, hilarity. So, you know,
and that's just me.
That's just me. So you can see the schedule. Tom's already absolutely spiraling. You can have a look at the schedule that we made. It's up in various different places. But basically, what we'd like from now until the end of next month is for you to sit in a state of perpetual readiness of the charity week, because that's what we're doing.
Yeah. You've probably seen Michelle. Josh, just part of the kimono. Josh has said he's happy to pop around if need be.
I can fix it. What I need to do though is refresh the thing we stream on.
Okay.
Cool. So everyone, we're gonna bounce for like less than a minute. Less than 60 seconds.
Don't even pop somewhere else just to quickly check something. Just stay where you
just
are.
chat.
Don't you dare. Just check the clips out. There are some hilarious.
Yeah,
moments.
go check the clips.
I actually don't think there's any clips
of the 5 minutes we've been chatting. All right, I'll be right back. We'll be right back, everyone.
Are we back? I think we're back.
Oh, heavens! Apologies, everyone.
Above.
Oh hi.
All the gods in the pantheon. Look, guys, what this little break did was remind me that we now have our very own piece of music that we always use. Ivan Dutch as who makes incredible music for the kind of thing that we do, and he has a really good Patreon. I can honestly recommend it so much. Ivan Dutch, it's Duch, and because we're on a particular tier with Ivan Dutch, he actually wrote this piece of music. It's very quiet at the moment, but he's going to polish it up, so I'm just going to have it in the background for the moment. But he wrote this specially for the Divisia Sensus.
He's very good and very clever.
That's very kind.
He has such an incredible catalogue of atmospheric music that I had forgotten. I was prepping today and I'd forgotten that I had it on, and then completely crapped myself because it was like atmospheric street music in the night, and a cat screamed in the background. And I was anyway, highly recommend. Always.
How can I get that job?
Just being that. You don't have that job. Malloy has that job. That's why he earns all the fucking money in this household. He's asleep right next to me. Okay, so I can do a little previously on.
Please do.
Divisia Sensus. Our shiny new first year students have not wasted any time in their first few days at this arcane university, the Divisia Sensus. Agatha has just about avoided complete and utter burnout on her third day at school.
There's still plenty of time.
There's still plenty of time. And Hiraeth, played by Tom, is a rare fae being, and he is just beginning to understand how things work here on the mundane and material plane. Sunny, who is played by Nikki, has discovered very quickly that he would struggle to do his favorite hobby here, which is marmo racing, due to the landscape. And so he's gone to find a way to knowledge how he can alter his gear for the rocky plains of Mara Ridia.
A way to knowledge.
So there are other things that are happening in this campaign. There are some attacks on the city, a series of muggings that leave victims with slashed Achilles heels, Achilles tendons, which is very mysterious and no one knows what's happened. But Froggy and Tan are on the case, so don't you worry too much. No heroes needed here. We've got Froggy and Tanner.
It's fine.
Also, the gang have been approached by Old Drunk George, who claims that the woman that he fancied 25 years ago is being kept from him for all this time. Is he, just Old Drunk George making shit up, or is there something bigger afoot? And I think with that, Michelle, dare I ask to roll the thing?
Yeah, give me.
I'm gonna take my drink to the Old Drink George, and I'm gonna drink till I can drink some George.
In the heart of Maridia, looking over the glittering city of Solaraire, is the world's finest centre of learning, the Divisia Sensus. For centuries, this school has hosted the rich and influential and the greatest minds to have ever lived. Geniuses, leaders, holy figures, and legendary adventurers all had their start here. Though the school is built on old foundations, you won't find more advanced facilities for the arcane, alchemical, artistic, or academic, all behind powerful walls. The Divisia Sensus has the finest and most comfortable sanatorium in the known world. We pride ourselves on the care we give to those whose encounter with magic ended with a broken mind. Each year, we instruct students from far and wide in their chosen subjects and the rigors of life at the pinnacle of their field. There is no greater, safer, or more prestigious environment in which to receive an education. Lady Sophronia Apissimos, High Master of Divisia Sensus, welcomes you.
We're back.
We're back.
So smooth.
It's the counting us in and then going.
I panicked. I was like, oh, I need to let them know it's like ending.
Michelle, I just want to say,
Yeah.
Your Tom impression is getting really good.
You should work in live TV. Faux show.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so exactly where we left off was that you'd walked back, chatting all the way, discussing about how you were going to approach the Orthonos house to investigate the painted over windows. So on this night, you actually returned home relatively early in comparison to other nights, 10:30 or thereabouts. And you have not encountered Henry on your way back. And you pop yourselves into your cloister dodeca, and you go to bed unless you tell me otherwise. Kai peels off to his own cloister.
Is he not worried about Henry?
Well, he's going to go to his cloister, and he says that he's going to check and see if Henry's back.
Okay.
Whether to peel off with him and double check that.
I don't care about Henry that much.
I know you did.
I'm like,
sorry, who's Henry?
Sick burn.
I think I think I sort of let Sunny sort of pop to the room and say to Sunny, I'll be in a minute. Just give me a moment. And I sort of pop in. I grab the stone from the top of my trunk, and I kind of, once everyone's sort of got to bed, I pop down into the common area and just sort of sit at the table watching the ghosts doing their normal thing. And I sort of sit there and I kind of go to start recording like a couple of times, recording, and I just don't quite know what to say. I think I struggle quite a lot to where to start, where to begin, what to say to Isolde and mother and father and Ewan. And as the hours sort of, as the minutes turn to kind of hours, I pace for a while, and just bring like a pot or something from the windowsill, open the window, throw out the weedy little plant that's in the pot, and just sort of bring it to the table, and just kind of just what's the word without saying rim.
You said it now. Just lean into it.
I rim the fucking pot, guys.
Yeah.
No, I just sort of finger the edges, and as I do, though nobody can see it, there's sort of a soft glow that starts to happen.
Pot is aroused, yeah.
And it starts to get a bit moist. No, it starts to grow. No, and as I do, a small sort of plant just starts to grow, starts to elongate from the pot as I try to sort of bring a little bit of the fae to my life here, and try to just create like a small sort of facsimile of what I miss in a tree, a small tree, just in the pot.
You go to cast Faycraft. That has been something that you have. It was the first spell that ever came out of you, and is absolutely second nature to you. And you go to cast it, and you don't feel the flood of magic in the way that you have done since you had consciousness. I mean, you were casting the spell before you were even really aware of what spells were. It just flowed out of you. And you realize that for the first time ever, you really have to concentrate on it. And you are even like looking at the tips of your fingers, trying to will magic from it. As you're touching the soil and the edges of the pot. And then finally you see something growing out of the soil. And as it grows, this tiny bonsai version of the green and pink trees that are common in your province, you see that there is something translucent and papery about the thing that you're creating. It's almost like a kind of origami version of what you might have been able to do back home. And it doesn't come with all of the other things. Like often when you cast Faycraft, it comes with a scent, and it comes with, you can decide what the lighting looks like around it, and it doesn't. It looks dull and it's almost two-dimensional, like when you kind of look at a hologram that looks 3D, but then you sort of look at it from one angle and you can kind of see that it's, that it's just a line. This kind of papery little Acer tree.
I just kind of look at it, and my brow furrows. And I look down at the stone in front of me, and I take out some paper from one of the drawers in the common area, and I start to write. And I probably write for quite a long time. Lots of scribbling out, lots of crossing out the bits that aren't right, or that where I go too far in to my feelings, or where I admonish my family for the things that have led me here. But finally, it's ready, and I'm not, if that makes sense. I think all of the emotion that goes into the page is the emotion that he has, that I have, and Hiraeth, again, though nobody's watching, if a Hiraeth sighs in the common room and no one is around, does he really sigh? But he takes a big sigh and folds up the paper neatly, puts it in one of the sort of pockets of his long flowing jacket, and eventually goes to bed. Context. What's the word? Story points.
You you head off to bed and fall asleep and wake the next morning, and Sunny has sort of been he got up quite early to make sure that he could leave. He'd organized with the Decatessera cloister to meet at the transportation room before breakfast to get as much of the day as possible. So you sort of do brief goodbyes, and Bing Bong comes.
How long are you going to be away, Sunny?
I'm not doing Nikki's character. Get fucked.
Okay.
But no, he's he's mute and leaves, and just does this as he as he goes. No, he doesn't. But Bing Bong is up. She asks if she can go. Can I go to breakfast with you? Because Pluto's having a sleep in.
I mean, of course.
Let's go. You do go to breakfast, right? It's quite good here.
Yeah, I mean, I do eat. Yeah.
They do that. They do that good eggy bread. If you've had that.
Hiraeth thinks back to the food that he used to eat in Day Province, and just kind of his shoulders slump a little bit at the thought of this damp ass drab piece of cardboard that he's about to eat. And he goes, "Yeah,
I'll tell you what to do with the eggy bread. There's a secret. It makes it even better. Come on, let's go."
Oh joy! And I kind of knock for the girls to see if they're awake before going down.
Yeah, I think they're awake. I imagine Nevma's like I don't know. She's got some other crazy outfit, or just some like these are my other leather pants. And Agatha's just there, like kind of blushing and kind of just getting a bit overwhelmed. Also, like we should. Oh, I think that's Hiraeth.
Hi.
Yeah, you just like knock at her door, and as you open it, Nevma today is wearing like a crop top and skirt that, to say that it's got cutouts, it doesn't really do it service because it's more cutout than material, and just like a big slit up the side with like straps that sort of try to hold the skirt back in position a little bit, big like chunky boots, and yes, we go.
Nevma, that leather's amazing. What kind of animal is it from? Thinking that it's just a snake.
I don't really know. I don't ask, but it's like soft like butter. I think it must be like I don't know, like a chipmunk or something feel.
Hiraeth feels.
It's feels more rubbery than anything else.
Oh, that's not what I was expecting. Uh, are you both ready for breakfast? Or
Yeah.
Let's go.
I can't wait to get that eggy bread. It's the best thing ever.
Eggy bread today. Let's go.
Yeah.
eggy bread?
Do you not eat eggy bread in the Feywild?
No, we eat just like anybody else.
I don't know. That kind of sounds suspect. Like you don't. What are you hiding?
Yeah. Do you not have eggy bread? Have you not had eggy bread before?
I have had eggy.
I don't think you've had eggy bread.
Oh my god, he's not had eggy bread.
Well, I mean, it's egg and bread. It's.
Oh, but it's like more than that. It's.
You get to the dining hall, and it's one of those things where you can choose to have your continental breakfast, whatever that fucking means in this world. There's like cereals and you could have a full English, whatever that fucking means, but
A full Iridian.
Floridian. But there's also, the kind of option that rotates. Today is eggy bread, and you will get your plate stacked high with eggy bread. And Bing Bong shows you sorry, he just wants to hold my hand. Every time I put my hand out, his paw goes on it.
Mother, I wish to touch you.
And Bing Bong shows you that she just pours white sugar in a huge pile on top of the eggy bread, and then
that's too much sugar.
you gotta do it, and then it's like crunchy. You get the texture, and it's sweet, and you've got the eggs. It's fucking great.
I look at. Yeah, I look at Agatha, I look at Pnevma, and
Pnevma's doing it.
The shoulders droop a little bit more, and I take the sugar and I pour it on.
I mean, for you, this sugar is like sugar light, so it doesn't taste as sweet as what you were expecting. So it's really, everything here is just the flavors are so clunky and bland that you're sort of grateful for the change of textures. I can't cope, honey. It's too much. I'm so sorry. So you have a nice breakfast. Bing Bong talks constantly, and is sort of asking, why I haven't seen you at all in everybody's been down at the Grapevine. I've not seen you, but then you're not kind of back in the cloister when I get home. Where have you been? I wanted to buy you drinks and like talk and stuff.
Oh well, it would be entirely reciprocated, Bing Bong. I mean, I think we've just been about.
Yeah, we just been to like other places.
All right,
is all.
Next time we go out, you are more than welcome to come along. I'm sorry. I don't mean to give the impression that we're not trying to be with you at all.
No, that's all right. I was just like, I was hoping that you weren't missing like good nights out. We were having an absolute banger last night.
Yeah. What happened?
Well, it was like I was playing, and it was, I think a lot of people lost a lot of money playing games at the Grapevine. There was lots of dancing, and you first years are horny. There's like a lot of snogging going on for sure.
I look at Agatha, thinking about the very nice nights that we've spent at the Apney, but I'm just sort of sat there like, Oh.
Over at the Grapevine. Oh my god.
Yeah, Agatha's like full, like not full blushing, but got that sort of like tinge of both like, oh, like that kind of stuff, but also, oh, I've actually been working shifts every evening actually.
Well,
Like I think most of your first year, you've already coupled up. You're all desperate to become items with one another. Goodness knows what's going to happen at prom. It's going to be a free for all.
Wait, there's a prom?
Oh yeah, first year, but it's going to be big time. No, it's a little while off though. You got some time to work out what color you're going to be and all that kind of stuff.
What color?
Where my accent's going? I'm going all over the shop.
I don't.
You have to choose a color.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like you know what you wear like a particular color if you're like up for a good time, and then you wear a different kind of color if you're like I'm kind of here with somebody, and if you wear another color if you're like I don't really know, convince me, and then you wear another kind of color if it's like please don't touch me.
What color is the first one?
Each year it can be different, but last year it was yellow if it was like full steam ahead, as they say.
Okay.
But it's the party committee that works all that stuff out, so it could be different color this year. So don't go and buy yourself a bunch of like cravats or anything like that.
I think Agatha starts to picture Hiraeth, who I imagine is always like sort of shirtless, or at least very like open shirt, but like absolutely like open shirt, but with a cravat.
With a cravat, yeah.
Oh God. So when is the prom? Is it
it's the end of this term.
End of this term.
Yeah, so you've got a bit of time still to go. Like we got a lot of things, a lot of other parties and festivals, but prom is always, special.
I look at Agatha and say, we have to prepare now. Like,
right? Yeah. Okay. Agatha's like ready to make notes. Like, what do we need to do?
First, just very quickly, is there? Do you know whether Bing Bong? Do you know whether there is like a garden with chilies or something here?
There's like a rose garden that you wanting to eat. I think you could ask if they wanted to give you something that was like, what do you want?
Chilies.
Why do you want chilies for?
Just something. I just need to. I look at the.
I just want to feel something.
I just look at the white and beige on my plate, and I just go. I need to. I need something. This is very nice. Very nice. It's lovely. It's wonderful, but it's not what I'm used to.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. They might have. You wanna? I don't know. I just eat whatever basically, but that's a good. I'll ask around, see if there's a kind of herb garden that might have a chili or two.
You are a god's send.
I know, yeah.
Wow.
So you got a group. What are you doing for your Golden Gryphen? Something pretty big time, because we are dodeca, right?
Yeah, well, we're like, we're still figuring it out, like we're gathering some ideas and like chasing some leads, like.
If you need any help, I'm your mentor, so just give me a shout. Yeah?
Do you know what we could do that would be really good so that we'd win?
Would jumping between two mountains be enough?
What?
Thank you. I thought I was the only one who thought it. Thank you.
I don't really know what you're talking about, but I think I don't really know, because honestly, I think that sometimes the people that win, they kind of think outside of the box. You could and honestly, people go to the library all the time. They go to Jingle, but I gotta be honest, it's been hundreds of years of people reading the books in Jingle. You're not going to find anything new there. The amount of times that people are like, oh, I found this thing in Jingle and I'm going to go and do that. I'm going to go and find this like dagger of Oban. And then they go to find the dagger of Oban and it's already been got by people who did it 30 years ago. They just didn't update the books. So you got to be careful about the old Jingle thing.
Yeah, that makes sense actually. And
I mean, did you win it last year or?
Roll insight.
I've just realised that we're doing a role playing a role and playing game. Insight.
Malloy's just seen a bird, so if you can hear,
I can hear him.
I don't know how a digital dice can be cocked, but it kind of was, despite it being a 4. So that's an 8.
An 8.
Yeah.
I rolled an 18 if I was allowed to roll as well.
Hiraeth, you don't really notice anything except there's just a kind of weird pause. Agatha, what you notice is Bing Bong, who is always cheerful and interested and curious, and like if anything, her stare is just always too intense. She's too involved. She suddenly goes a bit glassy-eyed and sad, and pauses and like her mouth is open to try and work out how she talks about her Golden Gryphen Cup experience, and then she doesn't really know how to, and she kind of goes, "Oh, it was like boring stuff. We didn't win, so we just, it was."
I'm sorry.
Well, if you didn't win and you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But can I ask who did win and like what did they do?
Oh right, well it's these people who are like, they're really nice actually, but they're proper, high achieving types, if you get what I mean. And I wouldn't. I'm not like. There's no bad feeling at all, because if they hadn't beaten everybody and done what they did, I don't know what kind of thing the school would have been in, because what they discovered was that the deputy, because we didn't always have the guy that's deputy head now, we had a different guy who was like, I don't really know what he was. Seems a little bit impolite to ask, but he had like bits, sort of, he had an owl. I didn't have many dealings with him. And as it turned out, he'd been having it off with, some of the students over the years. And not only that, he'd even had like kids and stuff with them, but not only that, but he'd been like kidnapping people, and also on top of that there was a beholder under the school. I was hearing everything third hand, but so they dispatched not only with like the corrupt dude, but they also got it out of the beholder, which was like tinkering about with the sanatorium, so our sanatorium is like still trying to, get back on its feet. I don't think I told that story very well, but basically I don't really know, but it was something along those lines. If you ever see, if I see them about, I'll introduce you to the people. They're really nice. I cannot promise that they're going to tell you everything, because they are like big fucking deal now. But, they might do if they're having a good day.
But what I took from that, and Agatha like looks at Hiraeth and Pnevma, is that they did something that was local, and something that maybe didn't seem such a big deal at the beginning, but maybe it turned out to be a big deal. And actually going to Jingle and using the resources that everyone else has isn't necessarily the best idea. So maybe, if like...
I mean, look, like in all things, it's kind of like, luck more than anything else, because I bet when they first started, they were like, this is going to be nothing. And then it was something that was really massive. but you just don't know what's going to be really massive and what isn't.
Look at Agatha, remembering that Sunny almost went on a date with this man. Kind of go, I see what you're trying to put down, Agatha. Is it
Well, have you got
wise?
something brewing?
Yeah. So you're like our what's the word? Not tutor, but like you're like someone we can come to talk about this stuff. You're not going to tell other people so they take it from us.
If you told me something in confidence, Agatha, I would take it to the grave.
All right. Okay. And Agatha is like pulls her in and gets in a hushed tone. So there's this guy, right? He's we call him Old Drunk George, and he's local.
Not a good start.
No, I know, but everyone dismisses him, you see, and I normally dismiss him, but this time he says this woman he knew, he thinks she's missing, so he asked me to look into it, and I said I'd just do it just as a friend, kind of thing. But then we went to his house, and well, Pnevma got in because she's really good at that stuff, and all the
I'm really good.
like real good, and the windows are like boarded up and stuff in like certain places, and they kind of shoot us away, and I just feel like it's something, but I'm having like a moral quandary where if this isn't true, breaking into someone's house is going to get me in trouble, but I also sort of really want to break into the house.
That's a point, actually, Bing Bong. I wonder. Obviously, the rules were explained to us at the start of the year, and they were explained in such a way that it felt like undue magic use outside of the school walls. It was strictly forbidden. Now, if
No, that's not true.
good, excellent. So, if we were following up on a lead that could potentially save someone, are we within our right to use magic and kill people? Or not kill people, maybe not. I
We're
don't know.
not killing people, right? Like,
I don't know how severe this goes, how far down
You
the
can kill people. You better be ready for the paperwork after. But I would, the thing is, it's the Custard thing. Like and it's this city. If you did it in a different city, they'd have your back. But because, we got to keep friends with the people, because we've been here, they don't like it if you rub the Custards up the wrong way in this city. So they kind of won't back you. So if you do anything in this city, you've just got to make sure you don't get caught.
Okay.
But it's a high risk, high reward, because if you do something if it turns out you do something really cool in the city, then you've protected the city or you've protected the school or whatever it is that you've done. But then if you fuck it up, then you might get kicked out. But that's kind of true of everything you do in this school,
Okay. I look at Agatha again.
She's just pushed so much sugary eggy bread into it. She's got sugar fucking everywhere, in her mullet, around, down her neck,
I mean, Agatha, if it's something, I say this with no hint of remorse or disdain or potentially a little bit of ennui. However, if this is something that you truly think we should do, I am backing you 100%.
I appreciate that a lot, Hiraeth. Thank you. I just think, our first foray into that didn't exactly go as well as I'd hoped or I'd thought. I just think we need to give it like a proper good go, you know, because all that happened was we barely made it inside the door. And I just got this like gut feeling that there's got to be something there. And if there's nothing, then at the very least, I can tell George that I've thoroughly checked everything, and you know, we can help him put it to bed.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you. Pnevma?
I mean, I just think let's break in and see what's in the house.
It's just we're not stealing. We're not like
Put down a little bit.
No, we can't steal, Nevma. Unless it's evidence.
Or we like it.
If you like evidence, then
Like,
maybe...
these people could be shitty, in which case, like, what even is property, is the way I look at it, you know?
Property, that's what it is.
Yeah.
She goes, like, for a second, Nevma kind of looks strangely and goes, I got something to go pick up. I'm going to meet you in group.
Okay.
She like skips out, and then you all hear in your head like that it's time to go to your first class. Right, well, let me know if you want any help or anything. But I've got my group class, and also I'm composing something, you know. So I just want to, but like I'm happy to take any time out to like help you guys if you want, you know. If you look good, I look good, you know. It's not
Yeah.
altruistic, it's selfish.
Just so I know, help out, is that like help us out like with studying and stuff, or is that like potentially helping us out with breaking and entering?
I would love to do that, but I think you might get disqualified if you have like second years helping you.
All right. Yeah, that's fair. I just wanted to...
But I could do everything around that. Like, do you need a tambourine for what you're doing? Because I've got like a couple of spares. Do you need any other musical instruments?
Yeah, like what?
Like a tuba. I got a tuba that I bought because I wanted to put it in my rig, and I can't make it work.
I think we're good. Thank you, though. We'll remember that, though, won't we?
Okay.
Right.
I've also jingle bells that you put on your ankles, which are great, but these ones are a bit big. They fall off my feet. Anyway, we have to go. I'm talking.
Yeah.
Lydia, where the street that this house is on, is it like a main street, or is it like a square?
No, it's one of those like parade streets that has road that kind of splits and has a row of trees down the middle and big townhouses on either side of this big street. It's very open, it's very fancy, it's where all the good houses are.
In Solarea, do you need a permit for busking?
You don't know.
That's entirely fair, Lydia. Entirely fair. Okay. I think I just say as we're leaving. I mean, if there were to be someone performing a little set in the middle of a street in town, who's to say that that's helping anyone but the busker themselves, right? Bing bong.
Oh, yeah, you know, I make only like pen. Oh, are you talking about like this is like a thing, or do you actually want to busk? Because you don't make very much money in this city in busking.
No. I more meant
a distraction.
Distraction techniques are an interesting.
Hey, listen, I've seen you in warm up for dance. I could play, you could dance. Oh my god. You know what I mean?
I again, I look at Agatha to see if she thinks it's a good idea or not. And I go, okay, maybe it's something that we could try. When are you free today?
Well,
You're not paying me attention, mother.
Just pushing stuff off the table. I'm free. Let's see. I have got clubs. After clubs, if you wanted, it's going to be some, it gets dark a little bit later, so we could do something after clubs.
Perhaps we meet up after clubs and reassess the situation.
I tell you what, you make your plans. I will make my plan that after club, I'm going to go back to Cloister, put on my good leggings, and be ready for whatever you need.
I cannot wait.
You're good people, I can tell. Bye! And she goes in a full sprint down the corridor.
Thank you for the eggy bread. Right. Sorry, what lesson was it? I apologize.
Group.
To group?
Yeah, I think it might be good to go over some of George's letters and stuff he gave me. Like, if we can all just take a good look at them together, might spot
Can
something.
we,
It's never about that.
You know what? Because I really like what we're doing, but do you think seeing as we've got a couple of hours group class and we're going to be going over letters, sure, very good, but also, do you think we could have a light backup plan for other things that we might do in group, just in case this doesn't turn out to be super cool? I think it would be super cool, but also,
What? Sorry, other plans?
You're walking down the corridor towards the wing where all the group classes happen.
Other things for the Golden Gryphen Cup, yeah?
Yeah, because I was thinking a little bit last night after we were talking, and I was like, best case scenario, there's no one in that room, because it's not ideal if somebody has been kept prisoner for 25 years.
Yeah.
Then, hooray! But also, we've got nothing. So.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I wanted to bring this up very briefly. I mean, Agatha, I hope this isn't too forward, but is that something that you could do with this potential for a scholarship for next year? Or I know that we mentioned it briefly last night, but it wasn't really brought up again.
I mean, scholarship for next year would be great. Yeah.
Can I insight that, please? Would that be okay?
Yeah.
It's boop, boop, boop.
Are you trying to hide something, or are you just being?
I think I'll roll deception, but I don't think she's necessarily trying to hide. I think she's just trying to downplay it and act casual.
It's kind of saving face, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I rolled a 17.
Hiraeth, are you drunk right now?
No. That Eggy bread was not to do the job.
Then that is a 12.
Yeah, you can see that she is. Pride is getting the better of her a little bit right now.
Yeah. I think I nod a couple of times and sort of say, yeah. Okay, well, either way, we're gonna win this then. Okay.
You walk into your classroom and it is, these classrooms feel a little bit claustrophobic. It's one round table with chairs around it, and the walls are wallpaper, parts paneled and then wallpaper, and they're all inside rooms, so they don't have any windows. They're meant for intense study.
I hate it.
And as you go in and take your places around the table, Pnevma's like, can I ask? I feel like we're all being really polite to each other. How comes you have 1 year? Because you are not scholarship, Agatha.
Yeah.
Is it that Kai guy? And if so, why? Because he's certainly kind of I don't know. He has like a thing about him, like he's gonna pay your check no matter what.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess I should tell you because I'm not like a scholarship kid, but I sort of am, but I'm sort of not. So basically, I used to occasionally students would like leave their books lying around like after a night out or whatever, and I would like read them. Just like I was just curious, like trying to work out what they were doing, and they'd always come in and acting all like they're better than us because like they're learning magic and all this stuff. So I like to like know some bits and pieces so I could just be like, yeah, your 5 familiar didn't work because like the chalk you had was shit or whatever.
Oh my god, so cool.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. It was kind of fun, like to see the look on their faces when they're like, you're just a barmaid, and I'd be like, yeah, I wouldn't say anything actually because I was just doing my job and I'm not really that person. But, and then Kai came like last year, and like he would leave his book a lot, and I would read it quite a lot, and I would like copy his spells to try and learn on my own. And then one day, he left like it wasn't like his normal spell book; it was like another book. And that night when I was like cleaning up, I was just like reading it as I was cleaning it, and I was just like trying to speak it out loud to understand it, and I didn't realize that I think I cast a spell, and like this thing happened. It was like real bad. Like they were going to kick Kai out of school because he shouldn't have taken the book out, and like they were going to put me in a sanatorium because I'd like done magic but didn't really have a hold of it, right? So as a compromise, his parents said if they pay for my tuition so they can check up on me, would that mean that Kai could stay at school? And and yeah, so now I'm here, and that's why I have to be here. That's why I have to do the sanatorium.
Oh my god. This all makes so much sense now, from like blue dicks to like all the way to you having to do San. And then what did you summon, like a devil? Like how did you even do that? Because that's some like I am only just trying to work out if I could summon like find familiar. Like how what did you summon some kind of hellhound or something?
Powerful magic.
Yeah, it was really traumatic, and I saw you rolled insight, Tom. So I think Agatha's doing that thing of like she gets a bit like shifty and she keeps looking at Hiraeth, and it's like it was like a man, like an elf, or something.
I don't know, summon elf. That's like that seems like I don't know what that is.
No, it was and she like purposely doesn't look at Hiraeth, and she's like, I think Kai said it was summon fae creature or something. But like I didn't know, it was like my fault, but like not, I shouldn't have read it, and like I'm really sorry about it. But like, and like I think it's fine now. Like it was,
So when you summon, sorry, I do sneak, so I don't really understand. When somebody here casts summon fae, what happens in the Feywild? Looks at Hiraeth.
What is Hiraeth doing right now? I'm a little
Hiraeth-
scared.
So Hiraeth has been listening really, really kind of closely and really emotively, and has been smiling along and proud of his friend. And I don't know, Lydia.
Want to roll? What I'm going to do for you, because I know what Tom is struggling with here. Please, can you roll for me a d20 and add history and tell me what you get,
Okay.
and I'll tell you whether you've walked that little mental path.
I can't see where history is. There it is. That was a 2.
Okay, you're not there yet. Tom's there. Hiraeth isn't. But I will give you opportunities to re-roll, because I think what I'll give you on a 2 is something. Tick, tick, tick. Something. There is now a little marble that is rolling around in your head.
I will say this. It honestly doesn't change the reaction drastically, purely because, I think he's been listening to this entire time, really, really reactively, really kind of positively. And as soon as it comes to the point when you start to say summon Fae, he goes very still. And looks at you a little bit more intently. And then when Pnevma asks, what does it do to people in the Fey Wild, he continues to look at you and says, it summons them.
So just like people disappear from your world, and then they have to do something, and then they go back. I mean,
as simply as that. But yes.
I don't know a huge amount about it, but Kai is he studies conjuration, so he'd be a better person to ask. Maybe I don't really I don't really understand it, if I'm honest. I want to but I also don't really want to. It sort of put me off that stuff.
I mean, Pnevma is looking at Agatha, who looks like she's on the brink of tears, and Hiraeth, who has got this supernatural stillness going on, looking between you two, and just goes, I mean, it seems like you must be pretty good at conjuration, because you did a big spell when you and you hadn't even had any lessons. So it seems like a real shame that you didn't get to be. But I got to say, I'm quite surprised. I guess I'd never really thought about what happens when you conjure something from somewhere.
What happened? What did you get them to do?
Were they just another bar hand? Maybe they were just pulling pints and opening bottles of wine and stuff. Because that shit is really useful.
I think Agatha is she really is at that point where it looks like she's about to cry as she is remembering that vision, that what happened.
I think if you look up at any point, there's that almost the angles of Hiraeth's face becoming more and more kind of accentuated, almost weirdly, as you look, and the sort of the single color eyes are just boring into you with almost a sort of predatory kind of sort of Yeah.
Um,
A's.
I didn't like get him to do anything. It didn't. The spell didn't work properly, and it was just really horrible. And then Kai snapped me out of it, and it was done, and they were gone. Like, I like it only like half worked.
If you're upset, Agatha, right?
Sorry,
She doesn't.
No. It only half worked.
Agatha's doing a thing of like looking between like Hiraeth and Pnevma of like, well, Pnevma's being like, you don't have to talk about it, right? And Hiraeth's like,
I mean, right, Hiraeth, it looks like, this looks like it was really upsetting for her.
What do you mean it only half worked?
Sunny would know what to say right now. I'm really sure.
They didn't like come through or something. Like they only like half came through.
Reroll.
Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Oh, I'm about to die.
He's fucking raw. That was a nat 20.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Hiraeth, you are... That marble slots into place, and you are taken back to a day when you were a child, when you were out with your uncle, and something traumatic happened to you.
Yeah, I think the stillness just sits for a little bit, and the silence sits for a little bit as these kind of marbles slot into place.
Can I do like an insight? Because I think
Yes, you absolutely can.
Agatha may have been like, oh, Hiraeth might be a bit upset because it was a Fae being, but this feels like it could be more. No, that's a nat 1. She's just like looking at Pnevma and like trying not to cry and trying not like.
You're a bit stuck in your own memory of how you nearly brought your family business to the ground.
Yeah, like that whole night was like that whole like moment was just kind of a lot.
Cycles. And cycles. And it was you.
What?
Pnevma just shifts her chair to be next to Agatha and looks at you and goes, what are you talking about?
Why?
What do you mean? Why? I
Why
didn't.
did you do it?
I didn't mean to.
Hiraeth, I think you should explain why you're very angry. We understand that she made a mistake.
I think all of this time when she's speaking, I just kind of lean across the table closer and closer until I'm very, very close and just whisper. You destroyed my uncle. You ripped my family apart. You did that. Years and years and years of your material plane went by, and I did not see my father for years. The day that he comes back, he sends me away. He sends me here. You did that. Because what? Because you wanted to impress some students?
I'm really sorry. I promise I didn't know. I didn't. Hiraeth, I had no idea. Like, I didn't do it on purpose. I swear. I know it doesn't make it right, but...
Hiraeth just shakes his head. Thinking about all he's lost and eggy fucking bread. And
Hiraeth, how is your uncle dead?
not yet.
And when your father left, it was to come here because he wanted to find out what had happened.
He nods.
And he must have made some kind of deal so that the Feywild people didn't attack. You came here. I mean, I'm just trying to put these puzzle pieces together because it's kind of cryptic and everything, the way that you're talking. So it was years for you, but it was just last year for her. Okay.
Can I do like a history check? Like, with her saying that, to be like, oh yeah, there was this person that came and said something, or like my parents said something, or Kai's parents said something.
Roll history.
Ooh.
Sunny's going to come back. The group dynamic's going to be real different.
Oh god, he's the glue. 17 history.
That time after the traumatic incident was such a whirlwind for you, and you were not involved really in any of the negotiations of it, but you saw the crematas, you saw the Kai's parents, you knew that your parents had to speak to the faculty here, you knew that there were meetings, but you knew there was other things at play that weren't being discussed with you, because you were kind of mega grounded. And on top of that, there were of those early nights when you were mega grounded, the first couple of nights afterwards, not only were you grounded to your room, but there was a member of staff from the school, or somebody, you don't really know who they were, who would sit in a chair in your bedroom doorway. Like, it was like they would watch you while you were in your room, while you slept. They watched you every moment of the day. You were never allowed to be completely alone, because no one could quite be sure if you had cracked or if you were evil, or what the deal was with you. So you were under like kind of light house arrest stroke 24-hour surveillance for those first few days. So you know that there were things at play that you did not that you weren't party to. It's very possible that there could have been other people at those meetings. You know that your parents came back pretty like shell shocked.
I think Agatha's sort of, I think she is kind of clever, and I think it's sort of slotting into place. Like, I knew there must have been something more than just a commoner did a spell. Then I think I think Agatha's like scared still and is just staring at Hiraeth and just doesn't really know what to do in this situation.
Yeah, Hiraeth stands up slowly, still looking at you. Kind of does that little shuffle that you do when you don't really know what to do with yourself in place, and says, how did he come through?
It just didn't work. Is that...
How much of him came through? Was he screaming?
Yeah.
I remember that too. But from the other side. A boy out on a hunt with his uncle, watching as he was ripped apart with invisible hands in front of his eyes. Watched as this powerful man collapsed screaming as the flesh was ripped from his body, as bones were ripped away from bones.
I know.
I watched him scream, and I couldn't do anything to stop it. So I ran. I ran home. I ran to get my father. That was the last time I saw my father. For years. Maybe we do. Maybe we do need to get you that money. To get you that scholarship. Because I will not see that happen again.
I know there's nothing I can say to make it right. I'm sorry. I am. I don't... It was a mistake. I know it. All of this is a mistake, and all I've been doing ever since is trying to fix it or make it right. I just thought I could have something a bit more, you know.
Well, you got your wish. And I think Hiraeth...
Pnevma has been sitting, and she's sort of had her hand on Agatha's hand, and she stands up and walks towards you, very tentative, because she's frightened of you right now, as is everybody.
Yeah.
But she looks up at you. She is so, she's about 5 foot, and she looks up at you with a lot of compassion in her eyes. I'm sorry that you didn't have you went through that. And she holds your hand. Why don't we look for that garden? See if we can find some chilies for you. I could certainly do with a breath of fresh air. And you two walk out. She does like a look behind over her shoulder to Agatha and gives you like a kind of a weak smile of like, I'm sorry, but you know.
Yeah, an understandable thing. I think Agatha, I think she gives it enough time for them to like get out and work out like the route, and then just immediately runs to her room to go cry. Oh God.
I'm really upset.
Yes.
I'm really upset that I had to speak to you like that.
I know, I'm like, oh God.
I love you lots, Michelle.
I love you too, Tom. Oh, I'm sorry. Who would win? One all-powerful fae being or one barmaid? Who knew?
So you spend having planned on doing research, lots of different research. The next couple of hours are spent either in the cloister or walking very slowly around the grounds of the school. And you know, you're right. Nevma's not looking for a garden. She's just keeping you outside and like walking around. And occasionally she asks you a question, but doesn't really expect an answer back. And you walk like that, you know, for the next few hours until it is time to go to your primary. Do you go is the question. I don't know if you do. I mean, Nevma's definitely going to go, but she does sort of say, do you want me to, you know, I could sack off my class, but are you going to go? You know, I
don't know.
Might be kind of good to take your mind off it for a second.
God, why is it? Sorry, I'm really sorry. But why is this the first session back?
I know.
Oh goodness. Okay. I don't feel good about what I said. At all. But I don't know what to do. I think, oh God, I think this is the, like, probably the most, the most despondent that that Pnevma will have ever seen Hiraeth, who always tries to have something good to say, who always tries to have something positive to or affirming to say to people around him, and I think he just looks at her for a second and just says, I'm sorry, I fucked up.
You've come to a stop where in this like little courtyard where there's like a fountain that isn't going right now. It's just like a pool, and she stands up on the lip of the fountain so that she's like the right height to like give you a proper hug, and says, you shouldn't regret what you said. What would you have done but expressed what you feel? Agatha probably feels like the shittiest that she's ever felt right now. But you know, you two have a long road together now. You can't avoid each other. I mean, you could probably ask to change cloisters, but that would be kind of shitty.
thank you for stepping in when you did, for this, for your words.
You don't talk very much for a big guy, and I honestly was going to kind of pick your brains about the Feywild in that class. Didn't quite mean to open can of worms, but worms are everywhere now.
Yeah, really, when you think about it, this is all your fault.
Yes, well, shout at me. If Agatha didn't feel bad, she'd be a shitty person. She feels terrible. And when you think about it, I mean, we've known her 3 days or something, 4 days. She has been... It makes sense now how she is. She's always frightened. It kind of makes so much sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Can you go and check her out? See if she's okay?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to try and sneak into her class and nobody see me.
Okay.
But you should go to class. Take your mind off things. You will have plenty of time to think about all of this. Did you ever think you would meet the person that did it?
Didn't think it was a person.
Oh, really?
I mean, gods, Pnevma. You should have seen us in the Feywild. Our power, our magic, our influence. For her to do that?
That beautiful bowl of custard to tear it all apart?
What?
She's kind of like a really beautiful bowl of custard, isn't she? You know, like vanilla custard.
I think I think Hiraeth just sort of looks at her for a second and just like fully roars laughing, like for a real kind of for a real second, like he just laughs, and tears start to roll down his face, and and he just laughs for a while, and as he sort of stops, he kind of looks at her and goes, it'd be easier if I didn't adore her.
Yeah. She's pretty cool.
She's fucking rad. Okay. Listen,
I'm really sorry about your dad, and I'm really sorry about your uncle, and I'm really sorry about your childhood. It sucks. And it would be easier to be angry if it had been done out of malice and not just accidental.
I think that's the worst bit. If it was intentional, revenge is easier than acceptance, you know?
Yeah. Okay, well, we're late to class, but you should go to Credence, shouldn't you? And I'll go, and I'll see you. I'll sit with you in lunch. I'll see you lunch.
I'll be okay. Thank you.
She gives you like your hand a little squeeze, and then whoosh, she's gone.
Did not even see where she went.
Still.
And I take a couple of deep breaths. 4 deep breaths. And I kind of roll my neck and roll my shoulders and wipe my face, and put on a demeanor that is well known to everyone around, and stride to Credence.
Oh,
It's not even 9 o'clock and we're already in tears.
And that was just about eggy bread.
Oh, God.
Eggy bread.
Eggy bread and custard.
That's gonna have to be the title of the YouTube video. Okay, so you have primaries, which is much the same as it was on the first day. You're practicing your divine sensing in Credence, and you are you're again with what's his name?
There's only one name, right?
Mr. Volker, in abjuration.
Oh, okay.
You are working through your somatic, like that thing of like getting your hands really perfect, and again, you are kind of singled out a little bit, Agatha, because you are the perfect person to be like, see, this is what she's doing wrong. Her hand is in the wrong position, kind of thing. So it's a tough class considering how wobbly you feel.
Yeah, I think she fully let herself sink into that, like, people just ignore me. I'm just going to sit at the back of the class and, like, yeah, getting called up to do all that stuff. She's just like, you know, when you're feeling like shit about yourself anyway, and then someone's like, yeah, and see, this is why she's doing it wrong. And she's like, yeah, I'm a terrible human being. Look at my terrible hand gestures. Like, just fully glassy eyes, like, yeah, I'm terrible. And everyone in class is probably like, all right, it's not that bad. You're like, pinky finger just wasn't in the right position. Calm down.
And you move on to cultural studies, and you two are actually in the same cultural studies class because you both did real shit. So I think you're in 7th form.
Yeah, we are.
Of cultural studies, where you know, tell me if I'm like, do you go and sit next to each other, or do you like, that is the most awkward, like, shuffling towards each other. You normally would have taken the seat next to each other.
Yeah, I'd say I think it depends on who gets their second, right?
Roll off?
Yeah, let's do a roll off. Oh, God.
Roll off. Let's have a little dex roll off to see who gets there first.
Oh, okay. Hiraeth's getting there first then. Oh, I got an 11. Oh, shit. Okay.
I got a 4.
Okay.
All right, so I get there first.
So, yeah, you get there first, Ags, and I don't know, do you save a seat? People are rolling in. It's not a really big class. Probably out of like habit, you might save a seat.
I would say I think she would save it. Like she'd do the thing of like, I should save it for Hiraeth because he normally sits next to me, and then like, wait, he's not going to want to sit next to me. And then be like, wait, but like, you still want to be friends with him. Like, he may like take that as a bad sign. So she's like umming and ahhing enough for the people around her to just be like, I'm just not going to sit there.
Yeah, there's like a kind of russet coloured, no, not russet coloured, like a chestnut coloured tabaxi who nearly sits in the seat, and then you kind of put your arms out and they kind of go and move then behind and take a seat like behind you. And then Hiraeth, you walk in and you see that there is a little seat available.
I feel fucking so bad for her.
Don't feel bad for her. She fucked up. She should have just stayed being a barkeep or whatever.
It really makes me sad. Yeah, I think there's the momentary hesitation, but I think Hiraeth has got his kind of brave face on. He's got his kind of, the facade is up, and he kind of like, he goes to sit down next to you, don't think he says anything.
Didn't you roll really low, like a 4?
Yeah.
I mean, the good thing is pretty much as soon as you put your butt on the seat, the teacher sweeps in and immediately just starts rolling off. It's not a very interesting class this week. It is very just verbal, talking about the different regions of the Iridian Empire and the geography and how the regions are different. So it's that thing where it's very easy just to like listen and take notes, or don't listen and doodle. But there's no like group projects. There's no, let's discuss this. There's none of that. It's a very traditional class of just listening to a professor talk and talk and talk for a couple of hours. However, after cultural studies is clubs, which is San. And so the two of you talk in absolute silence together. No, you go actually to lunch.
Oh yeah, we got lunch.
And so you walk in total silence into the dining hall. Tom, I'm not sure what you're doing, but it looks real dodge. Where you see Pnevma kind of like waving to like wave you both over, and immediately is like pouring you drinks from a jug that's already on the table. And you know, I imagine is a fairly tense lunch happens where you know, Pnevma is trying to talk about anything else, and
Agatha is fully like in her books. I think there's a few times like she's done that thing a lot of like going to say something to Hiraeth and then just nothing comes out because she's like, there's nothing I can say, I don't even know what to say. So all the while he's still like around her, she's like, okay, I just don't want to say or do anything that's gonna like disturb this, so I'm just gonna sit and I'm just gonna look at my notes and go over my books.
Yeah.
And just be there.
I think like halfway through lunch, I feel like I can incite this. I don't think I necessarily need to roll, although if you'd like me to roll, I'd more than happily do so. But I think sensing this kind of friction, I think Hiraeth kind of halfway through just kind of goes, halfway through a mouthful, he kind of says, I might find that chili. Which way is it to the gardens?
Yeah, would Agatha know somewhere in the city like there's a grocer's that might, or something?
You don't need to roll for that.
Yeah.
You've lived here your whole life.
Yeah.
You have connections to people who do that kind of stuff. You could not only talk about shops, but you could tell them where like the market is that has all the food stalls.
Yeah, and I think Agatha like so glad to get onto it. She starts like saying like you could there's this really great grocers. I could go get you some chilies if you want. She like gets up and starts collecting her books. Like, I can go get you some chilies. Like, let me. It's fine. I can do this. I can go get you some chilies.
Thanks. Thank you for offering.
Don't be late for clubs or whatever. You know, like.
It's fine. I won't be late. It's fine. I can.
It's like it's San. You know, that's the one you're meant to go to. I've just got gymnastics.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna go to San today. Not just tired.
Okay.
But...
Well, here, and she's like so eager to like to do anything that's helpful. Starts like drawing and writing down instructions of like where to go and like ask for Moira, don't get Derek because he'll talk your ear off or like whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking Derek, man.
God,
What an
Derek's
arsehole.
the worst.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm gonna go do that now. And yeah.
Okay.
Hiraeth kind of takes a look
Wait,
around.
before you go, Hiraeth, you know, it's this, you know, I've just got to keep plowing ahead a little bit and just say that we were planning on doing, like, we don't need to necessarily have Bing Bong with us, but we were going to go to the Orthonos house, and I think we should probably still do that, because if there is somebody up there, they're still there. So maybe we meet you in town after clubs.
I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I kind of look around the hall, not necessarily looking for anyone or for anything, and I go, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll see you then. And I walk.
You walk away. You know, Pnevma sort of looks at you and like breathes out and goes, "Babes, this is like, I'm so sorry."
Agatha just fully like waits for Hiraeth to have left the hall and then just fully face plants into like her book and just like,
Yeah. Fucking hell, what are the chances?
I just thought it was a spell.
It's okay. Bloody hell. Do you want me to go to San with you?
No, it's fine. No. Go to your.
Your face is still like in the book, and she's just rubbing your back.
yeah, that is for sure. No, go to your thing. It's fine. I can go to San. It'll be good for me to be around more witnesses of how magic can be really terrible.
All right, but like, don't really beat yourself up, okay? Like, maybe there's a different perspective here that you could take, like that, you know, that you're super lucky and really powerful, and you know, and you've learned such a massively important lesson, and you are now not the same person as you were when you read that spell book. And by the fucking way, can I just circle back round? What the fuck was Kai doing, taking books from Jingle and just fucking leaving them in town? Like,
I think Agatha, like, hearing that, she's kind of like not forgotten about Kai, but it's kind of like just being a bit like dealing with herself and her own emotions. And she just goes, Kai, oh shit, Kai. And is now suddenly like, where's Hiraeth gone?
Like, maybe we protect him a little bit from Hiraeth, but like, I also want to like ask him, like, what the fuck, you know? Like, surely I can't imagine that, you know, Mr. Vodinos would want people to take those sorts of books out. Like,
no, like that's the whole point. They're not like, that's why he would have got kicked out.
Yeah, maybe I won't talk to him. He's maybe already had people shouting at him quite a lot, now that I think about it. But still, like, fucking hell.
What if he did it on purpose?
You think? Why would he do that?
I don't know, like, to mess with me.
Agatha. He wants to mess with you, but not in a kind of like, I want you to kill people because it's funny kind of way.
Yeah, I don't mean like he had intentions of that happening. I just mean, you know, what if, like, I don't know, it doesn't really matter, does it? It's done.
These things do matter because intention matters.
Yeah. I wonder if he knew.
You never asked?
I got bored of asking questions quite early on. No one would really give me answers, you know.
If you want to ask him, but then like you want backup.
Thanks. Are you sure you still want to be friends with me after, you know, like, I'd understand if you, like, didn't.
You'd have to do something really sketchy for me not to want to be your friend.
Like, nearly kill a friend's uncle or blow up my own pub.
No, because like we just talked about intention, right? So it's like if you'd like gone, let me try and rip a fey being in half, then maybe I'd be like, okay, you're not as nice as I thought. But you know.
Yeah. At this point, she just turns her face like, so she's still like in the book, but she can look at Nev and she's like, thanks for.
No problem. Just be careful though, because you're like you've got spells written on the side of your face. Yeah. Your page is really soggy. Anyway, have fun in San. I do have to go and do gymnastics now.
Yeah, have fun.
I will do.
See you later.
And I'll just slowly pack up my books and head to San.
Okay, well, you go to San. I would imagine you would have brought your tabard with you, the blue tabard you were given that identifies you as somebody who's working in the San. And you go into the sanatorium, you wait a little bit in the reception area, and then you've been given a really basic tour, but on this day you follow Master Al-Qaidi, and he walks you to the first floor to talk about, if you remember, like the ground floor was where a lot of like people from the city who are ill or need a break or are having problems go there, but they're not for people who have the arcane mental breaking that happens. First floor is for people who have the affliction but who are manageable, and then it's the second floor that is like
dangerous.
So he takes you on a supervised tour of the first floor. And there are two other people from the first year who are tabards, and they're taken by somebody else. So he's like, oh, I thought there was going to be another. Never mind, it's just you and me. And he begins to talk as he walks through the hallways. We have quite a monumental task in the sanatorium. Safety, yes, of course, but I don't know how much you already know of the affliction, but there is no cure for it. And so one of the most important things that we address, especially here on the first floor, is finding ways for each of our charges to live the best life that they possibly can under the worst possible of circumstances. For example, and he stops outside like a cell, and this cell is, each cell is, cell is a really unfortunate way of doing it, but each room is very different. It's like custom made for each individual person, and this one is different in the sense that the walls are glass and the door is glass, and there are fittings that are, it's beautifully made, plain see-through glass, and in the wall there's like a little hatch, a little open bit with a little sill on either side, and he says, Fida here, and you see this halfling woman with white hair in the room, and her white hair kind of lifts up as if she's like rubbed a balloon on her head. And she's wearing this simple mauve dress, and the room is full of books and board games and pictures and like half-made craft projects. And he says, Fida has a special affinity with lightning and She plays a wicked game of push, and Fida like comes forward to the glass and goes, Master Al-Qaeda, morning, I see that you have a first-year tabard joining you today. And he says, hello, Fida, how are you feeling today? And she says, oh, great, thank you. I think today is a good day for me. And he kind of replies, well, do you mind, Fida, if I talk? This is Agatha, and I would very much like to discuss, talk about some things with her. Would you consent to that? And she goes, of course, go ahead. Okay, so Fida was in the first term of her second year, and Fida intersects really quickly. I was in Cloister Ecosse in the near south wing. It's really big dorm rooms, but you get no view whatsoever. And he keeps like just butting back in. So Fida was actually third in her primary in her first year, and she goes storm sorcery with a secondary of divine sorcery. She was away from school on a mission. Yes, we heard there was like a giant spider infestation in a mine in Tututan, and I have cousins in Tututan. And he says, while they were fighting in the mines, she attempted to twin some spells that were out of her reach. And she did that even though she had been experiencing some unsettlement in her magic. Sorcerers sometimes do find this. Much of how we teach sorcerers here are about emotional management and mental fortitude. But we think it's possible that Fida was pushing herself too hard at school, and the high emotions and attempting something that was impossible somehow broke a connection in her mind. And now she can't control the lightning, and it causes serious shocks to people who are around her. She is no longer able to purposefully cast spells. She is bright and funny, and she is a compassionate woman who cannot be in contact with people ever again. And you sort of see it's a bit of a roller coaster for Fida, who's listening to all of that. She's been complimented, but at the same time, it's this difficult thing. But she tries to stay bright with it. We try and keep Fida's life as full as it can be. Some days we can give her some small contact, which is vital for her mental health. Like I said, Mr. Al-Qaeda, I think today's a good day. And he turns and says, oh, that's very good. Let me take a look. And he steps forward, and they are very close either side of the glass door. And he looks at her for a few beats, and it's quite silent in that corridor. And he pulls back and says, I'm sorry, Fida, not today. She stands very, very still for a few seconds, trying to hide her total grief.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. Hopefully tomorrow. Yes, I do. I hope that. Maybe somebody can play cards with you today. Agatha, what was pudding today at lunch? I think they might bring it up. I hear it might have been plum crumble.
Oh, yeah. I think plum crumble and something about custard, I believe.
Well, a good meal always makes us feel a little bit better. And she just sort of smiles, but she doesn't speak. She's trying not to cry.
Oh, God. Agatha just shares a look with her of like, yeah, man.
Now, we're going to walk the rest of the floor now, but thank you very much for letting me share your story, Fida, with Agatha.
It was nice meeting you, Fida. Thanks for sharing. I'd love to come play cards with you another day, though.
As you walk on, he says, she's been with us for 15 years, and 10 of those were working on her forgiving herself for the damage that she did to her fellow students in the mine and then getting back to the school. Some days she can hold someone's hand, and on a really good day, a volunteer can go in and give her a hug and sit next to her for a time. But, we have to be sure, and she understands, she doesn't want to hurt anybody.
How often are those days?
I mean, maybe 3 times a year she gets to touch somebody.
Oh my God.
We thought for a time that it might be connected to her emotions, the calmer that she felt, the less she would hurt people. But sadly, the affliction is never that controllable. And, she does some academic research, though, and he just makes sure for a second that he's far enough away from her cell. Her intellect and other basic skills took a little bit of a knock when she got the affliction. But volunteers bring her volumes from the library, and you see, how can we do someone justice? How can we give them a full life that doesn't feel like a punishment or like jail? It's not easy. It's not easy for her, and it's not easy for us.
Yeah.
But
does anyone ever get to lead a normal-ish life?
I have worked in this sanatorium since I was a student here, and I have never seen anyone recover at all from the affliction. This is what I mean. We have to, people who research this, maybe one day there'll be a cure, and in the meantime, we have to give these people the best possible life that we can.
Yeah, well, anything I can do to help, I know I sort of have to be here, but also I do want to help if I can.
Well, that's exactly the attitude that you need here. And as you're talking, there's suddenly this commotion ahead, and he immediately takes off running, and you see further down the corridor, there is another tabard, a young half elf with short shaved hair, is pointing inside one of the rooms. We were just playing a drawing game. I don't know what happened. And he says, "It's okay, Oliver, stand back." And he opens the door and dashes into the room. Have you run after him?
Oh, yeah. Agatha's there.
Yeah. You look in through the room and you see this dwarf lying on the ground. And as you, why don't you give me a little perception check?
Oh, yes. 5.
For a second, it looks like he's sort of tangled up with the chair, like he's under the chair somehow, and screaming and holding his leg, and he's just there going, "I fell through the chair! Kindly help me! Please get me out!" And it is just screaming upon screaming, and he's clawing at the trousers that he's wearing. And Al-Qaidi rushes to his side, rips open his trouser leg. And I think maybe his body is kind of shielding you from being able to see. That's why you get the 5, because he's kind of in your line of sight. But what you do see is Al-Qaidi has his hand on the dwarf's forehead as he's looking at the leg that you can't see very well. And what he says is, all right, Drummond, we've had worse, but I'm going to have to cut it out, and it looks like it's fused with the bone, so I'm going to put you under. Is that okay? And you can see that the dwarf is already kind of gone from screaming to quite kind of dopey, and just like nods, and Al-Qaeda does some kind of spell effect that puts him to sleep and turns to you and says, right, I'm going to have to do surgery. I wonder if you and Oliver could go back to reception and get Simon from reception to help me, and then maybe you could find something else to do with the rest of your time.
Yeah.
Quick as you can.
And I'm like, give Oliver a nod of like, come on. And she's like, I can do this. This is all I can do. I can do it well. So she's...
Yeah. You head back to reception, and Simon is actually the half-orc guy that saw you. You know, he's very frequent at reception, and as soon as you like run there, you're like telling him, I'm guessing. She's why you would pick now to make it a secret, but
so anyway, no, I think the way she says it is like, Master Al-Qaeda needs you. This is the room. Surgery. Just the information he needs, like no faffing.
The half-orc just stands up, plants his hand on the reception area, and jumps over and sprints down the corridor, and you're left with Oliver, this short-haired half-elf who goes, right, well, what have you been trained to do? Hi, I'm Oliver. I'm second year.
Oh, hi. I'm Agatha.
Nice to meet you. What are you trained to do? Maybe.
Not really anything, because I've only been here like twice.
Right. That makes total sense.
I can do like I don't know. And she looks at like the reception desk. Like if there's like admin stuff, I'm like pretty good at that, or like, you know.
I don't think they love the reception stuff being given to a new person, but if you wanted to just go and talk to anyone, there's like ground floor. You could, they have like a hatch that goes through to the kitchen, so you could always bring people water or whatever if they're thirsty. Or is there anything that you want to do?
No, I just want to be helpful. If there's anything you think I can do that will be helpful, then just like let me know.
Well, it's just a matter of like, if you know it, like,
I just got introduced to what's her name? Fide? Fida.
Sort something out for Fida. She's, you know, Fida's classic. She's great. She's always got a project. Like she's fab. She's fab.
All right. I'll just go. I'll just like go talk to her then.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go and get this backup receptionist.
you. I'm ready. Someone's just stood outside. My time to shine.
Good though, yeah. And like I said, like that wasn't anything to do with me. I was just playing drawing.
Can I insight check all of it? I didn't think it was him until he said, and I'm like, did you do something?
It's like, he's the big bad.
9. Yeah, all right, Oliver.
Yeah, he was just playing Pictionary.
Right.
It's really got nothing to do with him. So it's pretty easy to find your way back. And Fida is like just sitting on her bed, like looking at her feet. Oh,
hi.
Come back. Hi.
Yeah, well, something just happened, and they sort of like, I've sort of been left on my own, and I thought you seemed kind of cool, so I'd come chat to you maybe.
Oh yeah, okay. She sort of looks around.
What are you working on? Like, Master Al-Qaeda said you like doing like research stuff.
Oh yes, I do really like to read. In fact, I'm now, I do a lot of hobbies. I like oil paints, and she points to a painting.
Oh,
That's
nice.
So I just did that, but it's not finished yet. So
No, it's fine.
I can also crochet, which we don't really have that much crochet in this city because it's like yarn and stuff, and it's very hot here. But
Yeah.
And there's just like a big box that's got a lot of hats and scarves and stuff in it. But I actually do have a list from the library. You don't have to go right away, but if at any point you're going to Jingle, I have my own sash. So if you could take my sash and get me some books, that would be great. But
yeah, absolutely.
There's company a lot of the time. Like, I don't get to talk to people very much. So
No, that's cool. Like, we can chat about whatever.
there's like stools there if you want to go, and then we can talk through the hatch.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Yeah. So you basically sit down and talk, and she wants to know what you're studying and what the first years are like, and the last bit of life that she had outside. She just started second year, so she's still very much like interested in what it's like to go to the school.
Yeah.
She when you get up to leave, she like very, very carefully pushes her Jingle sash through the hatch, and she asks for 3 books. She says a novel, which is your choice, pick any novel, and also a book of weather patterns on Sarathi wilds, and Sarathak, sorry, pronounced that wrong, and a volume of dress patterns. 3 books.
You're gonna like make some dresses and stuff?
Yes, well, I do like to see what the fashion is sometimes, and then no one ever sees me, but I do like to make my own clothes if I can.
I think that's really fun though, because then you can like make something that's unique, and no one else is gonna have it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. Yeah, I can get those. I can get those for you. I'll bring them. Whenever my next thing will be. All right. Well, it's lovely to hang out with you, Fida.
Thank you. And it was really nice to meet you too, Agatha. Yeah. I'll see you soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll see you soon. Agatha's got that weird thing of like, oh, I'm leaving. You're just gonna be here the whole time. It's not like, oh, see you later. Like, go have fun doing this thing.
Yeah, just as you turn to kind of leave, you just see her go back to sitting on the edge of the bed where she was when you arrived.
I'm just wondering if there's anything Agatha has on her that she could give her, like any books or anything, but probably not. Also, that went poorly last time. Yeah, Agatha has been out. Yeah.
So what I want to do is I want to talk to Hiraeth about what he's been doing, but if I don't pee, I shall simply start crying.
Go,
cry out the pee. Good. So I have to go.
Join us.
Vamp, guys, vamp.
All right, we'll vamp. Right, we've got like 5 minutes to quickly patch up this relationship. Let's go.
I've got to be honest. Above game. Part of the kimono. I like the things that Hiraeth said in the moment. Just keep coming back to me and keep kind of just like. I just keep having just waves of sadness.
Don't I see your thing. Like, don't feel guilty though, because it was good and like it was perfect. Like, if anything, you could have like been angry at me, and I would have been like, yeah.
Oh God, you know that you're in a good game. If I don't say so for myself, but this is kind of more for Lydia and for you than it is for me. Like, you're in a good game where you feel genuine emotions about the things that you've said. Like the lack of knowledge of what to do afterwards was genuine. Just kind of oh shit, I said things there that I can't take back. Like it's
It's great though. That's good. I would have rather that than you go, oh my god, I'm so mad. I'm over it. Like, it's fine. But yeah, I forgive you, Agatha. Like, come on, that's not why we do this angst. We're gonna drag this shit out.
Exactly. This is our game right now. Like,
Yeah.
this is what we do. You know, multiple times, the two of us as well. Let's be honest. Like,
We want to be mad at each other all the time. That's all we want.
Okay, Hiraeth. You have in your hand a torn out piece of parchment with directions to the food market. What do you do?
I think I turn the opposite way to the exit and go straight to my room, our cloister. Um, and yeah, taking some of what I've just said kind of above table. There's just so much pent up emotion in Hiraeth right now. He's always been very good at putting over the sort of facade, and very good at kind of masking the emotions and masking the kind of the stuff that matters to him. But the closer he gets to his room, the more he can feel the fizz in his hands, that kind of pins and needles kind of static. The more he can sort of hear the blood in his ears, and the more like the tunnel vision sort of starts to encroach. And when he gets to the room, the the thing that's sort of sitting right in his eye line is the tree that he created. This pale, drab comparison to home that doesn't have any, just doesn't have any kind of relation to anything that he wants it to, if that makes sense. And he just, I think he picks it up and opens one of the windows and just launches this fucking plant pot straight out of the window, probably into one of the other cloisters because we're quite close, right?
Today, there is a orange and white dragonborn that gets hit in the face with a plant.
Yeah. And I think, oh god, I think he goes to, like, he's in this kind of moment of not knowing what to do, and he goes back to his chest and just starts grabbing stuff from this chest, these baubles and trinkets that he was that were bought with him, and just looking for something that reminds him of the comfort and the love that he had, and there's just nothing there. And I think he just sort of like, there's a moment of stillness after this kind of chaos where I'm sorry if I just covered my mouth completely. That's terrible.
No, we heard you. We heard you.
Microphone technique. But there's a moment of quiet, and he just breathes for a minute and breathes through the emotions that are bubbled up, and he can feel the kind of the shape of the piece of paper that he's folded in his pocket, and he kind of like, I don't know how to do this because I have none, but he kind of like tussles his hair and kind of like scrapes it back a little bit so that it's less sort of manic, and kind of straightens everything out, and kind of sits at the table, unfolds this piece of paper, and activates the sending stone type apparatus that his sister gave him, and he starts reading his.
Let's hear it. What does he say?
And he says, he puts on a big bright smile because he knows that he can be seen as well. Says, It's so lovely to hear from you, Isolde, and to hear that you are not all entirely bereft without me. I miss you all truly, but I'm glad the hunt was a success and that you were victorious. Truly, if it was not going to be me, it was always going to be you who came out on top. Please. Please tell Father that I hope he doesn't remain clipped for much longer for both our sakes. As your current Fae ambassador, I feel like it's but duty to ask about the unregistered humans you found. If it's not too late, I should at least like documentation of a family name so that I may avoid it if I come into contact with any more of them. And a tear sort of escapes his eye and he kind of wipes it away. Send my love to the cousins in as saccharine a manner as you can, please. Merely the thought of you having to make small talk with them for the rest of the cycle puts a smile on my face. And do look out for Ewan. Obsidian will eat him up, eat him alive. And as for you and Hayden, well, stop being a bore and have some fun. After all, you have my reputation to uphold now, too. As for me, there's not a lot to tell. Clipping was an experience that my churlish side begs for you to have to try sometime. But let's be honest, I could still hunt against you 3 orcs to 1, sister. Truthfully, though, to live like this day after day, well, it puts the short lives of these lesser creatures into far sharper perspective. They're resilient because they have to be, and they strive, Isolde. They strive so hard to be something in their short time. It's commendable, really. Dawn Province seems like day in comparison. My friends, and before you laugh, yes, I have come to know them as friends, are different to what we're used to, but they've been comfort in such a strange place. The food is frankly awful, and the alcohol is little better than water. A bottle or two would be greatly appreciated, and don't laugh, but a piece of home would also be a comfort. You send Gerald. Could you send Gerald, if you get the chance? I love you too, Isolde, and miss you all deeply. I wish I could share this experience with you. I wish that Father had told me a little more. Gods, I really wish Father had told us a little more. Isolde. I found the person who did it. And I slam off and deactivate the sending stone and just sort of descend into kind of fits of tears. And probably just spend the rest of my time doing that in that state until it's time to go.
You were in your room or you were in the common area?
I was in the common area, and I think I just stay there. I don't think I have the energy.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so much pent up emotion and so much pent up kind of rage and sadness, and also guilt, like deep guilt about the things that I said to Agatha, and the vile sort of insinuation that this that the scholarship was necessary for her to train more, to keep under leash. And yeah, I think I just sit and cry and until I don't really have any more emotion. It's all of the emotion that has been in me for the past kind of, I don't know how long.
You, after some hours, a couple of hours, you find that the first person that you see come in is Pluto, who steps in through the door and kind of walks past you, but then sort of double takes and realizes that there's a slightly different vibe going on and goes, "Oh, are you all right?" "Yes." Is anything I can do to help?" "No." "No." "Okay. Well, I'm going to go into my room, but you can talk to me. I'm just there, and I also have a really good bottle of Drowan in there, and in case you wanted that, and yeah. So, and he sort of steps out and goes into his room. The next person is Bing Bong, who kind of comes in. She's got a lot of instruments piled up on top of her. And you sort of hear her coming down the corridor before she comes in through the door. "Oh, right, okay. Let me just put this stuff down. And I don't know if you still need me, or if you still have any kind of ideas. Because if you don't need me, I've got, I could always go and do a little bit of, like, I sometimes help out in worship. But I'm going to just go and quickly get changed and give myself a quick basin wash. And all right, I'll be back in a second." She goes through, and you're once again left from like momentary quiet in the center part of the communal area of the cloister. And then before you hadn't really noticed, but then you realize that Pnevma's sitting next to you. "Do you want to do this thing? You don't have to come."
Let's fucking do it.
"Let's fucking do it." Yeah. Right. Well, and Agatha, are you coming here? Are you meeting in town? Where do you think you would have gone? Oh no, can't hear you at all.
Sorry, apologies. I think how we left it when the three of us all like went our separate ways was the plan was to meet in town, and I think I don't think Agatha would have wanted to go back to her cloister in case Hiraeth was there and he wanted like space, so she would have been like,
He's respecting,
like
giving him a bit of space.
Giving him a bit of space, so she would have just gone pretty much straight there and just wandered the city a bit.
I just love the idea that, like, at one point you sort of come up to the room thinking that Hiraeth is going to be sort of like in town, and you just sort of like take 2 steps in and do that baby thing.
Yeah, no. She 100% did that.
Right. So, in that case, Agatha, you are in town, sort of not right outside the house, but getting towards it, and important question: Are you taking Bing Bong? You don't need to. There's no obligation to.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's take Bing Bong. Is it dark, Lydia?
Not yet. Not yet, but you don't have that long before it becomes a little bit on the dusky side. Yeah. So I think if Hiraeth has that thought, you got to get a little shimmy on.
I think Hiraeth does have that thought that actually, despite everything, like, she's alone in town right now, and he says that, and he says, oh no, shit, she's alone in town. We need to go, and he starts sort of like running.
Lead walking. Yeah.
Also, Hiraeth absolutely bought his like for the first time this campaign. He goes to the end of his bunk and unwraps a glaive from sort of like the end of his bed and straps it on. Puts the chainmail shirt sort of like over beforehand. But yeah.
Okay. Agatha, it's not too it's not dark yet, and the streets it's that kind of day where there's a lot of people pushing their market carts home.
Okay.
So you don't feel too kind of worried.
Okay. Yeah, I think Agatha's doing a lot of like sort of people watching and letting herself blend in with the city. I think she feels more at home here than she does back at the school. So, yeah.
Oh, the silence is what gets me, man.
Yeah, I'm stressed. I'm so scared now.
Just roll me a little preliminary perception check for that people watching. You are at the where this road would open up into the promenade that has the house on. So you're on a sort of smaller, slightly over shaded street.
13.
You can just about see the Orthonos house from where you are, and it starts to become emptier, your road. You don't see anybody that you recognize. You have a slight feeling of being watched, but nothing that truly skeeves you out. You just kind of like, I'm out in the open and that people can see me.
Yeah.
Not so much like there is a higher being watching me, but more like there's probably a builder that's looking at me. Like,
yeah, or Pnevma's I don't know, doing her Pnevma shit and is just
Pnevma
like
shit,
waiting
yeah.
for an opportune moment to jump out or whatever. And yeah.
Okay, and you probably wait about 25 minutes, and then you see a very tall Hiraeth with a couple of very little ladies.
Oh my god. Cool.
Flanked.
Hi.
Hi.
Right, well, I think we should probably make a plan before we do that. I know the kind of basic plan was that any one of us was going to climb up and break the window so we can see in. Are we going to actually try and break in, or are we just going to try and look? Are we trying to get into the building? What are we trying to do here?
I think we all need to break in, right? Or like, I don't know. I just think I don't know. I'm not really good at this stuff. I had planned on like going to the library and finding a book on like stealthing for dummies or something.
Oh, honey, no.
I don't know. Like, you're all wearing matching black and I'm in my dress.
Bing Bong suddenly looks a little bit alarmed. Oh no, I'm not very good either at this kind. I thought I was like distraction. Do you want me to play?
No, right. I think here's what I think. I think if you can be a distraction, that might work. And then I know like around the back, you can't really sneak in the back entrance because the headmaid that's where she like stopped me. But I don't know if there's like, I don't know, a window like one level up we could like climb into or something, like round the back or something. Never have you
Yeah.
seen anything that you
I
can
mean,
or does anyone
okay.
know the spell invisibility? Or maybe we just distract that Bing Bong. If you can like knock and run and get the butler to like chase after you, we can like run in. That seems like that's not going to work though.
I think. Yeah, go ahead, Hiraeth.
I was just gonna say, Bing Bong, if you can stay out here and provide us some form of distraction, if you can see or hear anything happening, anything worrying happening inside.
Yeah, I can do that. I gotta say, just like because I'm your mentor, I'm gonna just kind of say this, and that is, are you gonna break and enter when you don't know? When you don't have so far, you not really said anything about properly knowing what's in there.
We haven't had a way in yet.
What about just
Never.
getting some information?
Yeah.
Nevma, were you able to climb the
Yeah,
first
climb. Yeah, I climbed. That's how I knew what the windows are like.
I mean, what if we tried to break the window from the outside?
Yeah, that's what I thought we kind of do.
Technically only breaking and not entering.
There is also one other option that, you know, like we absolutely don't have to do it because nobody has to do anything. Like, it's fine. I know it's kind of like my friend's thing, but well, like me and Sunny, we're not like very good with words and stuff, but Hiraeth, you seem to like charm everyone who talks to you, and people might like give you more information or something. If you didn't want to like break in, if you wanted to like try and just find out information or like ask a neighbor or something, like we could do that instead of breaking in.
We could.
So
I feel as though we've burnt our bridge when it comes to speaking. I don't know how many of the neighbors know about what happened last time. Yet, although it was fairly obvious and fairly overt, I kind of feel like if we speak to them, they will know that something's up.
Yeah.
Whereas if we do something quick and painless,
like
I
a
feel like
get in, get out situation.
at the very least we can run.
Bing Bong has like knelt down and is tying bells to her ankles and pulls out a penny whistle and goes, I kind of realized I don't really want to know what you're going to do. I'm always going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to do what I do and you can do what you want to do. And she just she's got cymbals on the insides of her knees and she just starts like dancing down the street and playing the penny whistle. And so you have quite a lot of noise and distraction in the street to help you out.
Okay.
So we climb, yes?
I am. What if I stayed on the ground and barricaded the door? Can I remember, Lydia, if it was open from the inside or open from the open in or open out door?
A front door would open into the house, so you wouldn't.
And is it like one of these, or is it
it is. It's in the middle, and it's like this. and then there's quite a lot of stained glass in the front door.
Stained glass that you can see through?
Yeah. Yeah, because remember, what's his fucking name? Wexford was like looking through the stained glass at you guys as you kept knocking over and over again.
Cool. I can, and I pull a hood up and pull like a scarf up so that only this much is showing.
Your glowing amber eyes.
Yeah. And I kind of go, I can see if I can hold the door closed just in case anyone tries to come out.
What kind of noise will you make if something is bad happening?
You'll know it.
Nice and vague, just how I like it. Let's go, Agatha.
Alright, okay, yeah. Oh shit, okay, yeah. Agatha's trying to like mimic what Hiraeth's just done with like her clothes. She just like pops her little Peter Pan collar.
White collar up.
This all feels like a bad plan, but Hiraeth doesn't
We're feeling
care.
reckless, guys.
Yeah. This is a terrible plan.
Yeah.
It's truly badly thought through. No one trusts each other or knows what each other's doing, and everyone's just going to do something.
Okay.
Just like every great D&D encounter.
Yeah.
D&D, y'all.
All right. Hiraeth, explain to me how you walk away and what you do. Are you going to just stand outside the front of the house?
So I think I'm going to sort of go towards the front of the house and just sit down like next to it, almost sort of kind of, beggar style, but trying to like keep to like the shadows of the house as much as possible.
So if you wanted to go, I think that's still a stealth check, unless you wanted to try and convince me if it was performance.
No. Okay, I'll try. I'll take one of Bing Bong's tambourines, and just sort of pop it in front of me, and just like give it like a little. If anyone comes past.
Okay.
I like it. I like it.
So you are doing performance.
Yeah. As in
performance.
I've sort of like tipped it like underneath so that it looks like a begging bowl and
Yeah, all right, roll performance for me.
Come on, rolls.
Your robes are really well made.
That makes sense. That was a 7.
Yeah. I mean, physically you're not doing a bad job of pretending to be it, but you the gold trim on your cloak kind of gives you away. But you think you're doing a pretty good job. Agatha.
Yes. I would like to cast Mage Armor on myself.
Good thinking.
And I have the spell Jump as well, ready to like help me.
Yeah, it's got the spell Jump. Okay.
Yeah.
In true Pnevma style, I just rolled a natural 20. Thank you, Ash.
Yeah.
On her stealth. So, you are like casting Mage Armor on yourself, and you've got Jump ready, and then you look up and you can't see Pnevma.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And then you just hear Agatha, the alleyway.
Oh, I'll follow. I'll follow.
You are basically squeezing down quite a narrow that is between the Orthonos house and the house next door to it.
Okay.
And you see the slight form of Pnevma, who is already hanging off some guttering, like looking at you and like beckoning for you to follow.
Okay. Can I jump up there too?
What I'm going to need is this. Here's how it's going to go.
God.
Oh boy.
Yeah, here we go.
I'm going to need you to roll a strength check for
I'm jumping.
Okay, however.
Okay, it's still a strength. Just straight strength, yeah? Oh.
Jump is great, but like you What's your? Okay, all right. Sorry, that's on me. What's your jump like? How high can you jump?
Yeah, what's the math? How do you work out your jump? It's like
the kind of thing that Nikki would know off the top of
off the top of his head. I think it's like fuck knows. It's strength based. Hold on. Jump.
So your strength modifier plus your times height.
Yeah, it's something. My strength modifier is 2. Agatha's strong, okay?
Sorry, plus your height is great. You leap into the air a number of feet equal to 3 plus your strength modifier if you move at least 10 feet.
Okay, so I just made the height thing up.
Yeah.
And then I think the jump spell might triple it.
Yeah, so I can jump 15 feet high.
Okay, so here's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
You could jump it, but you don't have anything to land on.
Okay. That's where the strength is coming from. Okay.
So you have to climb. There might be basically you have to get to the second floor, and then let me explain the house next door is like 2 floors of fairly much the same height, and then it goes in a bit, and then you've got the 3rd floor is like slightly narrower and smaller than the rest of the house. I did a fucking drawing here, but I'm not showing my shitty drawing off.
So I rolled an 8 for my strength. Or if it's athletics, though, it is a 10.
Okay. Athletics seems like a good idea.
Okay, thank you.
Essentially, you start to take hold. You put your hands on the guttering pipe, seeing Pnevma shimmying up with absolute ease, and you just holding it with your feet planted on the ground and holding the thing. You just think to yourself, well, how does this work? What is climbing? And you start to put your feet on the wall, and then your butt pushes out really far, and you're just kind of in an absolute mess, and then you just sort of fall to the ground. You give your coccyx a bit of a bang on the concrete, and Pnevma shuffles back down and goes, all right, fuck, okay.
Okay, that's 2 of my free spells done for the day, so I don't really know. There's not really much else I can do.
Right. Well, if you can.
Jump is for a minute, right? Jump is not.
Yeah, it's only a minute. I cast it to jump up. I thought
you can jump. But the thing is, you need to get a certain way up, which a 10 might be. A 10 could probably get you a little way, and then from there you could launch yourself up onto the ledge.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of RPing out what happens. She sort of helps a bit. She gives you a little bit of like
a boost.
She sort of just shoves your butt in a little bit so that you're closer to the wall, and you get up a little bit of the way. What I'd like is for you to roll stealth at disadvantage because you've got under the climbs check.
That's not so bad. I rolled a 13 and a 14, so that's a 13 and a 14.
So you are now actually ahead of Pnevma, and you climb up about 5 feet, and then you just sort of hoof yourself up onto. You're not at the very top part of the house, but you are on the 2nd floor essentially, and then what you've got then is the 3rd floor of the house is in front of you, but is just 1 floor. I don't think I'm explaining this very well, but you've got 2 floors and then a floor.
Okay, yes. And is that of the neighbour house, or is that of the Orthono?
You're on the neighbour's house.
Yeah.
And there was a, essentially a 5-foot alleyway in between the 2 townhouses. Okay. And the Orthonos house is much taller than the neighbour's house. Pnevma's right up, behind you, and you're on that floor. And she's like, we need to kind of get right up so that we get a better view. And so you can do that extra jump, but you're going to have to do another disadvantaged stealth roll because it is a jump rather than a climb.
Yeah. That's fair. One of those was a nat 20, the other a 6.
Okay. As you jump, you think you've landed absolutely perfectly, like soft knees, soft ankles, like your arms are out, like you're like, I fucking got this, and your foot goes through a rotten bit of ceiling.
Agatha definitely lets out a yelp, like a little like.
No,
Agatha, no.
I'm so sorry. He's
being a pest.
For those of you new to the stream, Malloy is Lydia's child, 14 years old.
There's just so many. Again, I'm in this situation where there's just so many cats in the room. Pnevma kind of crawls up and is like, "Be quiet." She crouches down. She kind of doesn't step onto the proper part of the roof. She stays on like the lip of the thing, just like crouched, and turns to look at the Orthonos house. Now, would you like to do
Yeah.
yes. A perception check.
I would love to do. Could I interest you in an investigation check?
We're going to need perception because the thing is, you can investigate something, but the issue here is really using your peepers.
All right, no, I got it too. Agatha is like trying not to fall apart right now.
The rolls tonight, man.
Yeah.
You know what? Just floating through the evening air is the eardrum piercing penny whistle and jingle bells, and then the occasional tambourine shake as like you have Hiraeth kind of warning you when somebody's going past and you kind of duck down a little bit. Pnevma points to some of the windows and says, these are the ones that we need to break. And she points, basically, the Orthonos house being slightly different in style. There's a central turret, or not turret, but the main part of the building that thins and thins and thins and becomes a turret. And the four, corners of the house also have very small turrets that would just about fit a spiral staircase but don't really have any rooms, and the central part are the ones that have rooms in the top floors of the house, and those are about 15 feet away from where you are. They're like and it's up as well. It's like one floor up and 15 feet away.
Okay. Knowing that Agatha's spell is probably going to go soon, and knowing she may just be able to get like that in, is there anything she can grab that she thinks would break a window?
I mean, there's a pebble at your feet, but it's kind of small. This is a flawless encounter.
Flawless plan. I just don't. Why does she not have anything that's useful? Why did I have to? Yeah, and I'm stupid. I play her like. I asked Lydia. I was like, "Oh, what spells would Agatha have learned?" And like, I took the abjuration spell, so I could set an alarm. Can't break one.
I've been looking at my sheet going.
Luckily for you, you took a rogue.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping she could like break the window or.
Like, you pick up this small pebble and you're like looking at the window, wondering if you could do it, and you just see that she has a sling in her hand, Pnevma, and she's like already swinging it, and she takes aim. Let's see.
Someone marry that Pnevma.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Okay. You just hear the and a couple of seconds later there's a tinkle of glass.
I'm immediately gonna jump and like to almost like it's a risk of my body weight can help with the smashing, hopefully, and I can get in before my jump.
Okay, but I'm going to have to point something out because maybe this is where I haven't just... You are on a whole different building.
Yeah, but it's 15 feet away, right?
So you're in a building here.
Yeah.
And over here is the window that you have smashed. Now, so you're going to jump that 15 feet through the window?
I can jump 15 feet?
Yeah. Thrilling.
I'm going to do a run and just like... Agatha is purely
such fun.
She has just been drinking coffee all day. She is so much adrenaline right now. She is making terrible decision after terrible decision, and she just feels like this has to go right. Sunny's not here. Hiraeth sat out the front. Pnevma's doing great, but she doesn't feel like she can leave her to do it on her own, so she's just trying to be useful.
Okay.
You all came to a school game. What did you expect, people?
So you see her swinging the slingshot and you're like, yeah, I can do this. And while she's doing it, you like go back and then you just start sprinting. Okay, now, please, what I'm going to need is this, because jump is great. Jump will get you there. What I'm going to need is an acrobatics to get to the point, to the window that you've got to go to. Like, otherwise you're going to hit wall. That's the fun bit, is you're heading for quite a small window.
I was like, oh my god, Agatha's gonna die tonight. Either Hiraeth's gonna kill her, the ankle slitter's gonna get her, or there's just gonna be a fight and she's gonna die. She's gonna do it all on her own. All right. And
it's really sad because what we're actually witnessing is a route to self-destruct.
It absolutely is. She is like not really thinking about personal safety right now because she's like, oh.
She's not thinking about being scared that she's jumping over. What is it?
It's an 18.
Woo! Okay. Without even thinking about how far you have to drop, you just sprint and jump, and it is you're not diving head first. You are going like body in through this window. I am going to have to give you some glass damage.
Oh, for sure. She's going to take damage.
But it's only 2 points of damage as glass, like, you get a little bit of glass, like, in your skin.
I feel like Hiraeth is sort of like looking up and just going...
I mean, I'd like to point out that we're in dusk right now. This is the equivalent of about 7 o'clock at night.
They're having dinner. They're watching Emmerdale.
Right? You look up to see the sort of petticoats of Agatha flying through the air, and Pnevma's aghast face as she failed to stop her from jumping, and Pnevma looks back down at you and just is like and goes to like jump as well, and I'll say this because it is 10:20. As we always fucking do, we've overrun. But Agatha, you land with a crunch of glass underneath you, and you are in complete darkness. You cannot even see light through the window that you just fell through.
Can I do a little oh god. Can I a little floating blue dick in my head?
Do it, and you know that it happened, but you are in darkness.
Okay.
And
oh shit, like magical darkness. Oh god, okay.
And in that darkness, after the crunching of glass fades, you just hear and that is where we'll finish for today. Okay, guys. Well, thanks so much for coming. Great session to come back to. Join us next week when Sunny returns. We work out what on earth is gonna happen here. We continue, we'll pick this up from this spot, and we will quite simply see what happens. What a sesh. What a session.
Wow.
Light on dice rolling, but what a dramatic couple of hours.
Jesus. I
Oh
need to
my
sleep.
goodness.
I just need to sleep. I'll probably cry and then sleep.
I feel like I'm gonna have a little sob and then a sleep. Yeah.
Oh, guys.
Thanks everyone. Thank you,
Thanks
Lydia.
so much for coming back.
Thanks everyone for coming back. So, again, apologies for the tech difficulties. Nikki will be back next week. Although I do want to say I had it set up and ready, but for some reason something just didn't want to work, and it had a chain of events.
To be fair, Michelle, you are putting yourself down without needing to.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with you.
Had nothing to do
I
with
appreciate
it.
that. I just, I used to get it a lot where people would be like, can you get one of your male colleagues to fix the PC? And I'd be like, fuck you, I know what I'm doing.
It had nothing to do with you.
yeah.
It was just a thing. It would have happened regardless,
Yeah.
even if Nikki was here. So.
Yeah, it absolutely would.
And join us tomorrow for some Dragon Age.
Yeah, we're going to be back.
Back for some Dragon Age fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, we will see you next. Other than that, we'll see you next Wednesday.
I love you both dearly.
We love you too. Bye, everyone.